The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Say, if you're just tuning in, Carl Gallups is with us, and we have some time for some phone calls. If you'd like to call in, 1-800-979-9010. Let's go to Dave in Green Bay. Hey, Dave, welcome to Stand Up for the Truth.
Hey, good morning, guys. Carl, I got a question for you. I read your information, your piece that you did about the birther issues quite some time ago, and I was just curious. I hear there's a lot of mocking yet going on about it. What is your take on it to this date, and what have you learned since then? I'd be curious to hang up.
Oh, yes, thank you. Well, let me just say, people have, defined me as a birther. I guess I'm proud to be somebody that cares where our government officials are from and whether they're qualified to hold office. I mean, that's a constitutional concern. So that term is not a pejorative to me. But way beyond the birther issue of where Obama was born, it goes to the long-form birth certificate that he posted on the White House website a couple of years ago, proclaiming to the world that this was his official identifying document. By the way, it's the only document that he has ever released to the world to identify who he is. And it has now been proven through a 2-year criminal investigation involving 6 criminal investigators, a bevy of digital document experts, and a digital document company, examination company, Reed Hayes out of Hawaii, who is certified to testify in every federal court in the land, and who has testified in federal courts, and who has done work for Perkins Coie Law Firm, which is Obama's law firm in Hawaii, as an expert witness. He has produced a 40-page affidavit turned over to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office Cold Case Posse criminal investigation on the Obama fraud case, declaring that the birth certificate that Obama presented is an absolute 100% fraud and forgery. So that's the quick case in a nutshell. There is a criminal case against Obama and the people surrounding his administration in the matter of his identity and presenting a forged document as the only document of his identity. So that is atrocious. It may be the biggest fraud of all time ever perpetrated in American history, perhaps human history, on a people, on a nation. And so his question is, what's the latest? What's going on? Well, let me just say this. Mike Zullo and Mike Zullo is the lead investigator, and Sheriff Arpaio, they've all been on my program and my show. I've traveled to Washington with Mike Zullo at his request. I've gone to CPAC. We've met with congressmen. I've been on Capitol Hill. We've met with Congress people on Capitol Hill. Mike and I are in contact every day. So I will say to the caller, David, the bottom line is this. We are closer now to getting this to a congressional investigation than ever before. We have several very powerful and high-ranking congressmen who are now deeply interested, who have sat down with Mike Zullo, who have heard all of the criminal evidence. They've seen it. They are now contacting other congressmen. Meetings are being arranged. High-powered, what I call VIPs, very important people around the nation, people who have inroads and connections to the White House and to Congress, are now involved. They're very interested. They're setting up meetings with Mike Zullo and Sheriff Arpaio, and it's moving forward. We're having to coordinate plans and efforts and people's calendars, and when you're dealing with high-ranking government officials like this, there's all manner of protocol that you have to go through. But we are jumping through the hoops, and it's moving forward, and we anticipate that something major will break on this within the next several months. That's the most I can give you right now.
Well, thanks for covering that, Carl. Really appreciate that.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.